Good morning, everybody. We are Signal Centre Talking Ball. It's the 22nd of July. I'm Joe Neighbour, joined by Ian Coleman and Steve O'Hare. Morning, guys.
Morning, all.
Morning.
How are we all?
All good. All good.
Battered and bruised.
Oh, no. What's happened?
No, just that dollar move yesterday.
Oh, right. Okay. I
Quite
thought
savage,
Tracy,
isn't it? No,
Tracy
no,
had
no.
upset Tracy or something.
No, the beatings have stopped.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah.
He's not going to say it live on air, is he?
Should be waiting outside the door for him.
Is there a special code that I have to do?
Yeah.
I've just adjusted that. That's all right.
Yeah, challenging day
Something.
yesterday. Some big moves on a lot of markets. The US dollar got pretty savagely sold off. And that, as a result, meant that gold shot higher, silver too, and oil. So the commodities had a big move higher yesterday, and risk assets continue to push higher. There is some news out this morning which is changing that, and we're seeing a little bit of a rebound, and that's out from the Chinese foreign minister, who's suggesting that the staff were forced to close the Houston Chinese consulate after the US officials demanded that they leave. So potential increase in tensions between the US and China, and that is sort of dominating the headlines on our news feeds this morning. Any take on that, gents?
Well, a few minutes later, they said that the consulate is operating normally.
Yeah.
Or is that sort of still part of it? So,
well, it says on reports of documents being burned in the Chinese consulate in Houston, the consulate is now operating normally. So God knows what's going on there at the minute, but it definitely is spooky the market by the looks of things.
yeah, really weird one. We saw sort of like a reaction to the downside in gold and silver.
Just put your chart up and see. You can show us.
Yeah, just sort of just this morning. Obviously,
I want to talk about those in a minute. I've got some
crazy gold and silver.
Yeah, I've got some crazy levels on those.
Yeah, I mean, look at the silver's move yesterday. Absolute stonker. We're looking at highs going back to, sort of like you talked about 6 years. Looks fab. Shorter term time frame, it's very difficult now. We're trying to buy, put an intraday trade out there, and obviously when you're sort of like your normal moves are like this, and then all of a sudden it goes parabolic, then you're a little bit lost. I looked at the pivot point this morning. It's 2150 came in there, and that spike lower has triggered that long, and it's on side straight away. So that's quite nice. But obviously the news out has caused that, and if that news proves to be false, then maybe we'll get the continuation higher. We've talked about the gold and silver ratios recently, where they've been to extremes of 120. The really long-term ratio is around about 60 normally. So where it looks like, rather than and obviously gold heading towards its high, but it looks like silver is the one that's going to bring that ratio a bit closer to the historic normality, if we can call it that. E, do you want to have a little?
Yeah, this is a weekly chart that I'm looking at. That's quite scary, I think. 261.8% there, and it's literally just clipped it 1865. It's had a 78% rally since these lows, and I've just adjusted the fib, and it's just lined up perfectly with that swing high from yesterday, I believe it is.
Yeah.
And then going to, not to stand in front of a train and all that malarkey, but look at this daily chart on silver. Again, you've had massive percentage moves of 96% on silver since March. 261.8% there, 2265, and look, they're really decent rejection this morning. So, not to say that these are the top of the shop, but technically they've got some decent levels.
Yeah.
Maybe a turnaround in the dollar, which maybe we were just a day too early.
Do you want to get your dollar index chart up? There's NASA or his message this morning saying worth looking at the dollar index trend line from June 2018. Is there anything there you can see? You've probably got it on there.
From 2018. That's 2018. Yeah, that's what we discussed yesterday.
So that's broken
Well, it has at the moment, but you've
on a
got 2
weekly.
days. You got 3 days to spike back up, haven't you?
Yeah.
Effectively. So yeah, it's breached it, but is it going to be a false breakout?
Well, it's had a bit of a bounce back this morning by the looks of things
Yeah,
from the lows.
interesting. Interesting, but I think that gold and silver is more interesting. But it's all correlated anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
So,
looking at those gold and silver charts, I can't. I mean,
And-
I would say they're only speculative sells really at this stage because clearly the underlying trends are so strong. But
yeah, I agree.
there may be an opportunity for a speculative short sell on either of those on the basis that they do look pretty overdone. But then, so do stock indices.
Yeah, look what's happened to those bad boys. Have they had any sort of like move this morning on the back of that news?
Let's have a look, shall we?
I think we got triggered. We've been triggered already this morning in a number of.
Well, you keep looking at that FTSE resistance, which I've got up on the chart now. So we've got this level around here, 63.15 to sort of 63.40. I think you had on your chart, and every time it bashes its head against this, we see some reasonable selling, and over the last since the 15th of July, we've seen this nice sort of range form, which is coming under pressure again. It'll be the 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth attempt maybe at breaking that. So if you do see a break of that little range, then we could see a decent move to the downside, maybe somewhere around.
It's definitely a double top, isn't it? It'll definitely be a double top.
Yeah. Don't forget the wedge on the CAC, on the mighty CAC.
The mighty CAC, yeah.
5170, we got into that yesterday.
So let's just get that
which was rather nice.
4-hour chart up just to further highlight this.
You took a short on that CAC yesterday. Took some nice P out of it, didn't you?
Yeah,
you took the P out of the CAC.
70 trigger, and it was 73 high, so it was quite
nice one.
Quite decent.
So that's level on the FTSE there. Just how many times it's come into that sort of level.
Yeah.
And rejected, and until unless it can get above there, you're going to see more range-bound trading, and with possibly a downside bias. So it looks like it's breaking that support now. What the other markets doing? So the DAX sold off, still within a bullish channel, looking to buy dips down to 12,860 on that, but possibly room for a decent move lower in the short term. Euro Stoxx 50. Had a little break higher to the upside, but now reversing. Ian, I'll throw it over to you to show us your CAC chart. There we go. That wedge.
The wedge. Thought we might get a bounce back higher today, but that was yesterday's trigger just there, 5170, which was quite nice. Well, our bespoke resistance level was at 5174, so we just stood in front of that.
Cool. Anything else guys are looking at?
I think the US indices still look quite strong, don't they?
Yeah.
I mean, again, sort of yesterday, sort of could swing low here. Previous swing high, so it was resistance. It becomes support, and then we had bespoke support here. I know we're coming down, but I wonder if it's not going to be one-way traffic. I wonder if we'll make some sort of topping formation, maybe a head and shoulders on the S&P. I mean, this is an 8-hour chart, so it's got a decent amount to go down before it is support. Sorry, Steve.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that just been triggered on Hang Seng as well. Now, Hang Seng is one of the indices that we were looking at that I did last night. Covered Joe for it. Where we're getting in, we're not getting in here. I don't know which chart I used for it, but I was looking to buy at this level 25,150, and it's just spiked down here. Just triggered it now.
Okay, that was my idea. Was it? From yesterday.
Yeah, I think I lowered the entry level. I think.
It's nice. I like that.
Well, did you do it last night, or did I?
I did. Yeah. I think it lined up with the fib level as well.
Yeah. Sorry. I just deleted your bit on the chart. I thought for some reason I did it.
Yeah, there's a 61.8% fib there, and a retest of that channel, which is what I was.
Yeah, I like it. So as we see these like sell-offs in the indices, and then all of a sudden they're bouncing back. So may have sort of like clipped a couple this morning, so that'd be good.
Yeah, could do
We'll
with a
get some
win on
follow
that.
through on it.
So there's my chart. So it was Steve had the break of the channel, but there's also a 61.8% level here from this low to this high.
Yeah.
So a decent-ish level to have a go at speculating on along, but clearly there is a bit of risk-off feeling in the markets this morning on the back of this news with China and the US. So we'll see how that develops, I guess. US dollar, Swiss franc look quite interesting. That's had a strong move down lower, but now seems to have found some support and put in a really big reversal candle there on the hourly chart. Looking to buy.
What was that one, Joe? Sorry.
That's US dollar, Swiss franc.
Swiss.
I think I'm looking at that for gun to the head trade, but let's just have a quick review on gun to the head yesterday.
No.
Not much to scream and shout about for myself and Ian yesterday. We had trades on cable, which did actually eventually turn lower, and it has done this morning, but was a bit too early on that. 1 hour stop out on that. Dollar index continued to move lower. 1 hour stop out for that on Ian, but Steve managed to save us a little bit of face with a 1.59R win on that FTSE short, which we just discussed.
I don't think I did.
You think you got stopped?
Yeah, I think I got stopped.
I saw a flash up on the screen. But...
Yeah, I think it got up to 63.16.
Oh,
so I
you're
got
joking.
stopped out. No,
Okay.
I was going to say
updated then. So free stop outs yesterday. So let's just gloss over that.
Sorry
shall we?
to sort of like shit in your parade.
Yeah, he did a little
There's
bit.
a lot of red on there at the moment.
There is, yeah. That's what 9 in a row. Never more than 9, as you guys say. So let's get some winners on the board today, shall we?
The rule of 9.
I should have just acted dumb and just ignored it.
Cheers, Steve. Your honesty's cost us there.
No one looks at these videos anyway, so we really sort of like got away with it. But yeah, I was a bit devastated about that because obviously I was trying to be a bit clever and getting some really high risk rewards, 7 to 1 or something, and that meant the stop was too tight. So I'm sure there's a saying for your stops being too tight, but I can't think what it might be at the moment. Don't be a prick for a tick or something. But I feel a bit cheated out of the indices recently. I've had that great NASDAQ trade a few weeks ago, just got stopped out on the level. Then yesterday, that one, that hurts. That hurts. Don't get angry.
Hello, Mrs. Neighbour.
Hello, Mrs. Neighbour.
She needs her scissors.
Of course she does.
Careful what she does with those.
Okay, I'm going to take a look at dollar Swiss today. Again, example of two-way markets. I'm actually looking to sell it on an intraday basis up here at 93.80, which is a retest of this trend line here. I've also got 38.2% fib from that high down to this low, which I need to slightly adjust because we've just seen a little bit of a move lower below that. Decent reversal candle today. So I'm going to try and jump on that 93.30 and target my entry level, which is about 50 ticks above the market at the minute at 93.80. So stop loss at 93.11, target 93.80, 2.65 risk reward ratio on that. And if I get filled on my short up there, I'll be happy as well. And that offers the potential for a 3R return. So let's see what happens.
Excellent.
Who's up next?
E, do you want to go?
Yeah, I don't mind going. I'm going to go on that dollar bias as well. Keep on playing this this long US dollar, and I quite like this on the hourly chart. In fact, I think there's outside bars on virtually all time frames. Actually, 2-hour chart, 3-hour chart's not quite there, etc., 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 etc. So I'm going to use that as a stop. We've got bespoke resistance as well, located at 115.30. So I quite like it. Look it.
I like it.
I'll just target that swing low there. Dink. 3.8R selling at 115 or 21 since I said it. Targeting 114.03, stop at 115.47. Bosh.
Bish bash bosh.
Superb. Yeah, there you go, Steve.
Yeah, I'm going to just sort of chicken out today. I'm going to go for buying silver. We've just been triggered on our intraday trade at 21.50. It's 21.82 trading. I'm going to get long there before it moves again. Unless it moves lower, then I'll pretend I didn't say that. 21.81. So stop on this can be 21.36. And we'll look for a target move back to the highs, only 2 to 1. So getting long at 21.81, stop at 21.36 below this new swing low, and targeting a move back up to the highs, 22.71. And that is me.
Superb. Great. So just to recap, we've got a long on dollar Swiss at 93.30. We've got a long on silver at 21.81, and we've got a short on euro dollar at 115.21. So let's see how they all work out today. We could do with we're putting some R back on the board.
3 winners, chicken dinners. That's what we need.
That would be lovely, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's just have a quick roundup on some more of the news and what's driving the markets yesterday. Donald was on the TV last night. I don't know if you caught any of that. He was all masked up.
Telling everyone to wear masks now, isn't he?
So he dampened sentiment overnight, according to the reports that we've got. And obviously we're seeing that a little bit in indices today. That was felt throughout Australia, Hong Kong and the Japanese markets, all of which lost ground. As it's often been the case, the Chinese market continued to separate from the pack. That was up around about 1%, the CSI 300. Trump did state, however, that things were likely to get worse before they improved, and obviously pushed this whole idea of wearing masks to curb the spread of the virus. Gold and silver outperformed, as we've touched upon. Crude prices dropped on the prospect of lower demand, which will be seen if the US has to lock down any further regions. On the data front, we had Japanese PMI manufacturing, which rose from 40.1 to 42.6 for the month of July. And there's been a resurgence in retail sales in Australia, which has calmed down slightly, but that was after a monthly increase of 2.4%, and that was from 16.9% previously. So still looking okay there. Today we have Canadian CPI at 1:30, existing home sales from the US at 3 o'clock, and crude inventories at 3:30. And we've got Tesla reporting today in the States, which will be well watched.
Day traders' favourite.
Let's have a look at what they're doing, shall we? Let's get the hourly up. Daily. I mean, it's been a meteoric rise from them, hasn't it, from the March lows? What's that in percentage terms? Just a 400%.
Just a little 400%.
Bubble. In 80 days, that was as well.
Not bad, is it?
No. So, there's going to be some heavy expectations on those, you would have thought, to try and justify that on the results today.
Yeah, I think even if they come out shit, you just buy the dip.
Yeah, absolutely.
Seems to be the trend.
Well, just nothing's based on actual anything anymore. So let's see. There you go, 78.6 dip.
78.6 in the gap there. Just get all in.
Get a gap, trend line, test it.
Pay all in.
Is it? Can I change my gun to head trade?
You're going along with
There
you go. 8R. So we'll see how that goes. But unless you guys have got anything else to add,
nada.
Then I think we can wrap it up.
Lovely.
Great.
Have a good day, guys.
Yes. Yeah, have a good one.
Good luck.
Cheers.
See you all tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.